capturing our hearts and minds when he said, a nation where they will be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream, an American dream. Our American dream is under attack, and right now we have a nightmare. I want all of our children and grandchildren to have the opportunity for that American dream. But we have a border that's non-existent. We have soaring prices where Nevada families have to spend $11,400 more annually just to keep even. Botched exit from Afghanistan, we are no longer the premier country in the world in terms of leadership. Well, I will tell you that I will work with all that I can to restore that, to restore the American dream. My entire life has made me ready to be Nevada's next United States Senator. Having grown up overseas, seeing communism, seeing socialism, it's not good. Thank you for being here tonight. Politicians, how's that working for you? I promise to represent my constituents because 20-year Air Force veteran, I served the country in uniform proudly and supported and defended the Constitution of the United States. I will continue to do so. The United States chose me to command the B-2 Stealth Bomber Test Squadron. My squadron was responsible for certifying that it met its responsibilities, a $24 billion program. So, I am trustworthy. And I'm also trustworthy because I have been in the Pentagon working the Air Force budget when I had to deal with politicians that wanted to do their shell games. So I assure you that when I go to Washington, D.C., I will be there for one purpose only, to represent Nevadans. Thank you. We have to stop people coming into our country illegally because we don't even know if we have sleeper cells, and if we don't think we do, then we're not being very wise. So this is what we need to do to secure the border. We need to enforce our asylum laws. The way we do that is we impeach the Secretary of Homeland Security and put somebody in there that will enforce the Constitution. And we need to stop giving people who have entered the country illegally free stuff. When somebody commits a crime and they are an illegal alien, we need to deport them immediately. We know in this state that Mr. Guzman has killed at least probably 4 people. 2 of them lived on the street of members of my church. We can solve the border problem. Thank you. Well, I have a story for you. While I was on the campaign trail, going through all 17 counties that I've been through since I announced, I was in Eureka County, and the sheriff there told me that he goes to Congress to speak periodically on law enforcement issues. And he said that while he was there one time, he asked to have a meeting with Jackie Rosen, and she refused. So I want you to get your head around that the chief law enforcement officer for a county was refused by the sitting senator. I want you to get your head around the fact that a constituent was refused by a sitting senator. We need new leadership in Nevada and Washington, and someone who will stand up and secure the border. Thank you. Thank you. 3 committees: Armed Forces, Foreign Relations, and Interior. Armed Forces, because we've already talked about the military. I would be on the other side of it. We could be looking at World War III with what's happening with the missteps in our executive branch right now, and with a Congress without leadership, especially with senators. So we need someone that understands military strategy, grand strategy, and the military instrument of power. Foreign relations, I would be on that because senators are responsible for treaties, and we need to make sure that countries that hate us don't get money. I think that's from treaties. But most importantly to a lot of people in this room, Interior, because of Nevada. Water, water, water. So land. 87% of our land belongs to the federal government. So we have to have our senator be right in there when we're getting government land turned back over. We need to make sure those treaties, like the treaty with Mexico, where they're supposed to give us a certain amount of water through the Rio Grande and through the Tijuana rivers, they've only come up with a quarter of what they're supposed to give us. Treaties, we need to enforce them. So, armed forces, foreign relations, and interior. Those are my committees. Thank you. I am against the lands bill because I think it's being driven by special interest. When there was public comment for the lands bill, and I went down there and I was looking at the maps, there were 3 geologists that talked to me, and they talked about flooding. And the problem that's missing in the lands bill is that Dr. Simon, when he was governor, talked about this, that when we expand, we need to have a water plan, a land plan, and an energy plan. He talked about that. The lands bill is lacking in that. And that's again why I want to be in an interior, because land is important to us. So we have BLM, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and the military that have the 87% of the land. We're not going to get a lot of the land back we need, but we need to be able to manage that which we can get back, which is why I want to be on the Interior Committee. Thank you. We have a spending problem, not a revenue problem. We need to get back to regular order where we have 12 appropriations and we fund them. Continuing resolutions, omnibus bills are not the way our government's supposed to act. So as a senator, I will negotiate with other fiscal conservatives of who I am to get back to regular order. We have to stop spending on things that government wasn't meant to spend on, and the Constitution tells us what we're supposed to spend on. So that's the way I would approach it. The second thing is that we have many bills in the House right now that are waiting for the Senate to look at, and the Senate's not taking them up. That's not the way government's supposed to work. The Senate is supposed to take up the bills, have parallel bills, and then they come to conference and they resolve them. Our government is not doing that. So as a senator, I would be an advocate for regular order. This is a difficult problem because there's a lot of rah-rah what we like to do. The United States is the leader in the world, and we have treaty obligations. We caused Ukraine to disarm with their nuclear weapons. We have responsibilities there. So, we need to do one thing: protect U.S. grand strategy. What is grand strategy? It ensures the longevity of our country. We protect our people, economic viability, and the Constitution. That's grand strategy. So anything that we do in that grand strategy is to keep wars as far away from our border as possible. So the other complicated thing is that not all Ukraine spending bills are sending money overseas. Some of them are replenishing our own arsenals. So the thing that I promise you is that this stuff is very complicated. As your next United States Senator, it is my job to explain to you why I vote the way that I do to your satisfaction. You may not agree with me, but it's my job. Thank you. And to solve those problems, we need senators that have certain skills. Through my entire life, I have learned to understand how to use the diplomatic instrument of power, military instrument of power, and economic instrument of power. And when we look at trying to unseat an incumbent, we need to have a compelling reason. I stand here tonight telling you that I have that compelling reason, plus the fact that I will appeal to traditionally non-Republican voters. So it's important that we beat Jackie Rosen, but I can't do it alone. I need you on my team. I would like to ask for your prayers. I would like to ask for your vote. I would like to ask for you to donate to my campaign. Please go to GradyForNevada.com. That's GradyFor Nevada spelled out.com. You will see my positions, and you will see my TV interviews to know how I think. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for the moderators. Aim high, Nevada.